What is good, everybody? What is good, everybody's big game, James, man. I'm back in these streets. I'm back in these regular streets. I'm at the crib. You know what I'm saying? I haven't went live in like 300 years at the crib, dog. Um, I was just bored doing some things, had some odds and ends to get to. So I said, bump it. I might as well go live. Things is happening in Cowboys Nation. You know, the Mavs is doing it too. Shout out to my Mavs because that's a positivity right there. The Mavs is turning up and I love it. But we're gonna talk a little bit about these Cowboys. What's good? What's up? What's up? Talk yo media. Talk yo talk media. What's good with you? First time me ever. I don't think I've ever heard from you. So what's up with you? My dog David Jenkins. What's good with you? Know what I mean, like I said, it's been a long time since I've been live, y'all. So I said, let me go live. Everybody going live all day. Figure let's talk about these Cowboys. What's going on? Got a game coming up Sunday night against these Buccaneers, and whole lot of things I kind of want to talk about, but one thing I'm going to talk about some things that I had on my Twitter. Where what's up, Daniel Barrow Sports? What's up? What's up? What's up? Keep on coming in here. Let's have a good time today. But one thing I posted on my Twitter first of all was, Cowboys done had this resurgence. We done seen it. Cowboy has the resurgence. Won three of the last four. The upset win against Washington, but I knew they were going to beat them Commanders. Well, I'm not going to say I knew they was going to beat them. I know we Dallas could beat them, but like I said, Dan Quinn is overrated, man, and ain't nobody scared of him as no coach. So first, you got that big win against Washington. Defense played rather well. Bunch of sacks. We've seen how since Micah Parsons has come back, the defense has made a turn, and that's why I said, early in the year, I was with Mike White when they were talking about not saying I ever wanted to trade Micah Parsons because he's a whole different animal. He's a monster. He's a beast. He's all that. So I never wanted to trade him for anything else but hella capital. That's the only reason why I went in my head. But you're dealing with the Joneses. They don't know how to trade people. They definitely wouldn't know how to trade no centerpiece. And I'm cool. I don't really, it is what it is. I'm cool with Micah staying here. He's a dog. He's an animal. He just changes the defense. I'm a defensive guy. And he even said himself in a tweet, defense wins championships. And I done told y'all that from the till the cows come home, defense wins championships. And I'm a defensive guy, so I don't want to see the best defensive piece we had since forever to leave. But you never know. So like I said, we'll talk about some things that he talked about as well. I don't believe some of the things he said, but hey, but like I said, Cowboys beat the Commanders, beat the Giants, who are no good. Bengals do have a top fire offense. We know about Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. We saw that game, and Dallas had a potential to win that too. So they really could have been on a 4-game win streak if it wasn't for that epic blunder, Leon Lett. It could be 4-game win streak. But I also tell people, let's keep it in perspective who they beat. They beat two teams. Washington is fighting for the playoffs. They have a good team. I'm not going to say they're great because they're coming back from being terrible. Everything is new and great and glitz and glamour over there in Washington. So, yeah, they don't have no pressure to win anything. This was a rebuilding stage. You got a new owner, new coach, new everything, new quarterback, all kind of new free agents. So this season didn't matter. And I said this when we did our Best of Enemy show, when we had George on there. I said the Commanders were going to win 8 to 9 games this year. Where they at right now? What's up, Willie Suffer? What's up, David? Um, where they at right now? You know what I'm saying? Like I said they were going to win 8 to 9 games, and they're at 8 wins right now. This isn't a surprise to me. I said they were going to do this. I said they were going to have some wins this year that were going to be, oh, Washington won that game because they don't have nothing to lose this year. This is a throwaway year. You have a rookie. You have everything is new. So your first year when everything is new, even the ownership, that's a throwaway year. So you can play loosey goosey. You could play like however. So I knew Washington was going to be in this position. Um, Giants are terrible, so we can't say nothing about them. So I can't jump jump up and down over the Giants' victory. I think Cincinnati is a middle of the pack team in the whole NFL. The defense isn't that good, but with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in that offense, that gives you a chance every game. It just does. I don't think the Bengals are terrible. They're like, if you're talking about 32 teams, I would say the Bengals like around 18th, 19th ranked to me. So I wasn't jumping up and down. They lost a game but could have won. And then we saw the Carolina Panthers, who Dallas utterly demolished them. You should. They're not a good team. And Bryce Young, he still shouldn't have been a number one overall draft pick, but he has played better. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking Dallas was losing to Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. I'm sorry, I never had the thought of that at all. So I'm jumping up and down on those Panthers victory, just for me. Yeah, I mean, what's up, Ty Church? What's up with you, dog? So when I look back at those victories, when they say the Cowboys are coming back, they're still fighting. They're still fighting. I appreciate that. They are still fighting. They are definitely still fighting. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't know when they say team tank. I'm telling you, when you're playing professional sports, I've never played professional sports, but I've definitely played a lot of sports, and I don't know about the tanking thing because I can never do it. It'd be very hard for me to just not play hard in the game and just lose. I don't have that kind of spirit, so I don't know where they think these players are going to do it. I just feel like you're playing teams that aren't that good, and that's why you're beating them. You're still a middle of the pack team, Dallas. Even with Dak Prescott out, even with these injuries that you've had, you still have enough talent to be a middle of the pack teams because the teams that you play, we just seen it right here. Dallas ain't beat no good team. Like, let's look at who Dallas has beat this year. They swept the Giants. They're in position to have the number one draft pick. They beat the Browns, who are not good, right? And Deshaun Watson, not good. They beat the Commanders, who are they're not fading, but they're gonna lose in the first round of playoffs unless it's some major surprise. No, but no, Washington ain't doing nothing. Okay, so you can go by Washington's 8-5. It's a positive record team. We'll see how they play against Philly because they got their ass kicked when they played Philly team. So let's see how they go against them and maybe get a better gauge. You beat the Steelers. That was a good game. Beat them in the last minutes, but I'm sorry they had Justin Fields. I, mean, I know it sounds like I'm complaining and hating, but I'm not. I'm just looking to put the games in perspective as far as the wins. Pittsburgh is a good team. Facts. If they had Justin Fields at the quarterback, I would love to see Dallas play against Russell Wilson. I would have been a more legitimate victory to me because to me Justin Fields just can't throw the ball. I just no he just can't. Sorry. And then you saw um, Carolina Panthers. They're not good. They're 3-10. Like the teams that Dallas beat, there's only really maybe two legitimate wins out of those six wins. You know, so let's keep it in perspective about the Cowboys. They're back and this and that. I can't say all that. So now you got this is where I was saying, in my opinion, this is going to be the better parameter of where the Cowboys are at, and we're going to talk about coaching and what I think Micah said and Jerry and all that. I got something like that. I feel you, Willie. I hate losing too. Who wants to lose? I'm not. I can't tank. I'm sorry. I don't know how people think these players are doing it. Maybe because they're making a lot of money. But if you have a competitive spirit and you're playing, you do not want no team whooping your ass. I don't know no players that just let teams just come in there and beat you and they just don't care. I don't know that. I don't believe that. What's good, Drell Carter? What's good with you? I can't believe that. That team is just better than you, or you're just better than that team, and that's why they're winning now. The teams that they lost to were better teams, had better records, made more playoff teams. That's what happens. You're beating teams that you're better than, even with your top quarterback, because those teams are not good. Dallas is notorious for beating bad teams. That's why a lot of times I feel like we get a little gassed up, and it's nothing against McCarthy because I don't hate McCarthy. But when they had those three straight 12-win seasons, a lot of those were against not good teams, right? Those were against, we saw last year in the last 2 years where they were demolishing opponents, scoring 40 points. These teams weren't that good. And then when they played a good team, those outcomes didn't happen. So I can't jump up and down on every 12-5 season because a lot of those wins were against teams you should beat. and the teams that they were the top teams, they lost to. And that's just the truth. So, you got to be careful when you see as well one season each year. And I'm not taking anything away from it, but you got to be careful and see who they're beating before you can jump up and down and say we're 12-5 every year and we got good squads. Even though Dallas has had talent, can't say that. But let's put in perspective who they've been beating year in and year out too. Not great teams. Yeah, you know what, Gregory Davis? I asked that myself. Um, I've always been 30-30 club. Um, and I mentioned this. I mentioned this myself. Um, why does it feel like when Dak is in there, this team is a whole struggle? It feels like this team is a whole struggle when Dak Prescott is in there. Um, we can't run the ball. We got to keep throwing, throwing, throwing. But now that he goes out and this ain't even, Cooper Rush has like 10 touchdowns, only 3 picks. I mean, the offense has, it's almost like, I don't know if you're dumbing down the offense for Cooper Rush, but it just feels like you're saying, hey, this is who I'm thinking that they do this, Gregory Davis, to answer your question. In my opinion, they're thinking we have a franchise type quarterback, so let's show we have a franchise type quarterback in Dak. From what I'm thinking, they're thinking in their head. So we need to throw the ball. We just pay this man all this money. We ain't pay all this money to make this man hand off. I mean, let's think about that. You just paid Dak Prescott, and he's the highest paid quarterback in the league, and you're just going to lean on the run game. Maybe that's their thought pattern where we just paid this man all this money. He needs to throw the ball. I don't know. That's what it feels like because you don't lean on the run game with Dak. I mean, Rico Dowdell's turning up and running his ass off 3 straight 100-yard games. Once again, we got to look at the competition. The Giants don't have a good run defense, and neither do the Carolina Panthers and the Cincinnati Bengals defense is one of the worst in the league. So you have three teams that you beat have one of the worst run defenses out there. So when we say they're leaning on the run game, you have to lean on the run game because you have Cooper Rush. Where maybe you don't lean on the run game as much because you have a Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush, you must lean on the run game. We seen when they use having Cooper Rush throwing 50 times, that's a recipe for disaster. We ain't winning none of them games. Cooper Rush got a wet noodle arm, right? He got a wet noodle arm. So with Cooper Rush winning games by his arm, you have to run the ball with Cooper Rush, right? So I think that's the thought pattern, in my opinion, that you have to run the ball with Cooper Rush because if you throw the ball with him all the time, you're gonna have turnovers because he throws the prettiest, easiest catchable ball in the world. And man, them defenders are eyes light up when he throws the ball because it's so soft and love you can pluck it right out the sky and take it back to the house. So maybe that's what I'm thinking right there, that you really gotta lean on the run game. Okay. I mean, like I said, you know, it's the 30-30 club with me. 30 passes, 30 runs, you win. And I've been saying that for years now. 30 runs, 30 passes, you win the game. That's why I've been calling it 30-30 club for the last, I say like 3 years. You get some running game to get at least 30 attempts. Dallas is a better team. Dak Prescott's a better quarterback. We are. But the problem was early in this year, that your front office and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, or particularly Jerry, in my opinion, wanted to bring Ezekiel Elliott back. And you should have never did that. We'll go into that because I'm about to show something right quick. But you brought Ezekiel Elliott back. You should have never did that. You should have got a running back. You didn't do it. So because you brought Ezekiel Elliott back, and he's thinking, and he said it, why am I here if I'm not getting the ball? I didn't want you to come back. I don't know why they brought you back. They shouldn't have. They should got that young back paired with Rico, and then you still could have sprinkled Deuce on, and you've been okay, right? You really should have. You did a disservice with Tony Pollard. Should have signed him to a few years, 3 years deal, and kept him moving. But you kept him on the injured year, signed him to the $10 million. Rico never really had no chance. That was a whole messed up dynamic. Like I said, last year in 2024, you could have got Devon Chain in the second round for Luke Schoonmaker. You picked Schoonmaker, I believe, what, 54? You could have had Devon at Chain, who's a pretty good, right? He's a pretty good running back. You see what Rico's doing. You could have had 2 years already with a Chain and Rico, and you wouldn't have had to worry about Deuce Vaughn, who's a 6th round draft pick in that same year, who's languishing being inactive. You could have had that speed back, and you wouldn't have to be running worry about a running back in the draft right now, right? And we're not going to sit there and say Dallas is dying if they don't have a Luke Schoolmaker on the team, right? But we definitely need a running back. You didn't need that tight end. You could have drafted that running back in the second round, kept it pushing. Now in this draft, you could have really focused on that receiver, linebacker because of Overshown, the edge, really focus on building that defense back up. You could have did all that right there. So yeah. What's up, Paul? Raw dog. Yeah, we don't attack other team weaknesses. Yeah, and I mean that's what I'm saying, Willie. I mean, so that's where it kind of stays right there as far as my opinion. But as I was saying, y'all, these next three games, in my opinion, because everybody's getting hyped up over the Brock Hoffmans, the TJ Basses, and all these undrafted people. They were making a big thing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. Where they're talking about Mike McCarthy and how when we had that last drive, we had like nine undrafted players on that last drive when we scored that touchdown. Well, Dallas scored that touchdown against Carolina, like nine undrafted players. First of all, I said this is the spot to come to. If you're an undrafted player, this Dallas is where you want to come because you're gonna have a chance to play because Dallas is cheap because they cheap. That's cheap labor. And if you're undrafted, you're not making no money. So you can find all these hidden gems in these undrafted, and really maybe getting away with doing things because you're not paying no Brock Hoffman no money. You're not paying no TJ Bass no money. You ain't paying Rico, although he might have started making him having a payday now with him running that ball. Even though Rico's not special in any kind of way, in my opinion. But man, he runs the ball hard. He's a straight line downhill runner. Visions, man, but he can't catch the ball at the backfield. I think he has 33 catches, 888 yards. So he's gonna be a 1,000 yard runner, it looks like. So, but we know even Spam, tight end, he was undrafted. A lot of undrafted people. That's what the Cowboys do. So this is what I was saying. These next three games, if we talking about these undrafted and these players, if we're looking for the future, these next three games are a better gauge than the last three games. So Carolina, Cincy, and Giants were not a great gauge for me as far as this team. You know, Zimmer defense playing good. That's all good. I'm happy about that. But those teams are good. Let's get a better gauge now. Let's get a better gauge now of where this team is at, if this defense is really that good, right? Parsons is back, so that makes the defense better. But let's see if the offense, what's really going on with, because now you have the Buccaneers who are playing for their playoff lives and they have a pretty good team. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, they got a pretty good team. You're going to play the Eagles again, and they may be fighting for a top seed in the NFC. So that game could still mean something playing against Dallas. And then I want to see Brock Hoffman's and the TJ Basses and the Sim Richards and the guy. I want to see that offensive line. Hopefully Cooper Beebe back. So I want to see that offensive line go against the Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and those guys. And then I want to see him go against the Buccaneers. And then I want to see him go against Washington at the end of the year because Washington might be fighting for their playoff lives by then, and they may need to beat Dallas to get in. So Dallas could really play spoiler maybe in these three games. So these three games mean something. And these three teams are playoff type teams and have good talent. So to me, this is a better gauge. These last three games are where we can see the Dallas Cowboys are at going forward than those last three games where they dominated some teams and everybody's like, oh, the team is staying together. They're still fighting. They're playing terrible teams. So I'm not jumping up and down because Dallas beat the Carolina Panthers, barely beat barely lost to the Bengals, and the Bengals are not a playoff team right now. And you're playing the Giants, who are top five in the draft. I'm not getting excited about that, nor the defense. It's good that the defense did that, but it should because those teams aren't good. Now let me see these Cowboys defense shut down the Buccaneers, shut down really that Philly game. I'm hoping Philly has something to play for because that's the game for me. Because if they have something to play for and you're going to Philly, right? Hopefully they're playing for winning the whole NFC. Then they'll have something to play for, not sitting out players. Then and you don't got the Diggs because Diggs is out. So that's a better gauge, don't y'all think? That's a better gauge. And I hope I'm with you, Jonathan. I hope Overshown does not rush back. If you have to miss all of 2025, so be it. It sucks. But I just heard Mike on his podcast saying Trevin Diggs rushed back from his injury, and now he's hurt again. What up, my dog? My cousin, what's up with you, fam? Yeah, I did it. Yeah, we need a Miles Garrett. There's some guys out there we can get though. And I want to talk about that. As we go on, we talk about draft things of that nature. But I want to show y'all something right quick. Let's see. All right, so yeah, that and David, that's what I'm saying. Joe, y'all feel me? That's more of a game to me. That's going to be a real gauge. So f all that other stuff. These next three games are was real to me. But I wanted to go to this because I wanted to talk about some of the things that have been going on in the Dallas Cowboys football. So we remember I made a video about how Stephen Jones was alluding to maybe we don't keep Micah Parsons. Not saying he was saying it, but it's going to be tough to pay Micah. He's already saying it's going to be tight in 2024, 2025. Free agency is going to be tight because he's already going to throw out there. Oh, I like Leah Foul right there. And no, they're not suddenly become a top five unit. Let them save that. You see that at the bottom of my point there? Save that if they're a top five unit, if they're beating good teams. Don't say that if they're beating bad teams. I hate that, man. Stop falling for that crap. Anyway, Jerry Jones stepped in on Tuesday to tamp down the rumblings that the Cowboys might consider trading Parsons to ease things financially. That's never been uttered in this organization that we don't have a future with Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones or Jones said on the fan, suggesting that media speculation twisted comments made by his son Steven. Parsons is signed through 2025. Cowboys exercised a fifth-year option on his rookie deal with a little more than 21 million for next season, but could look to sign to a long-term extension this offseason. And Mike has already said he wants to be a Cowboy for life. Listen to 105 The Fan and listen to Bobby Belt. Shout out to you, Bobby Belt. Haven't talked to you in a while, but shout out to you. You know, I don't see a world where Michael Parsons is not back for the Dallas Cowboys. If Dallas Cowboys sign Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, they're signing Michael Parsons. Okay? I don't care what anybody says. They signed Dak Prescott, they signed Michael Parsons. That's it. Because I'm sure tell you right now, from my opinion, I definitely know they believe in some Michael Parsons. I don't know if that's for sure with Dak still in mind. I told you I'm staying with that. I don't care. But I know they believe in some Michael Parsons. I just they don't and they're not smart enough to do that. So he's going to get signed. I don't know if it's going to play out ugly in the media. Heard Micah saying something about it was 30 to 40 million, basically giving you a 10. Basically, he could give a hometown discount for this next contract coming up because if I give you a discount, go use that money to go get some players. I ain't never seen Dallas do that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen Dallas go out there and go get no players. Um, I ain't seen them go hard in free agency. All I seen them is them make excuses in free agency. So, and Micah said on his podcast that Cowboys be excited, be excited. I can't, Micah. I'm sorry. I get where you coming from, Micah. I watched the podcast. I get it. I get where he's coming from, and I don't disrespect that. I feel like you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be saying these things. You play for the Dallas Cowboys, play for the organization. You ain't supposed to be doom and gloom. You're supposed to push positivity. That's the smart thing to do. You got a podcast. You ain't gonna be doing doom and gloom. So of course you're gonna say, "I want to be a Cowboys for life," which I think he does because I feel like he's gonna make more money with the Cowboys because of Cowboys and what they do say. Like the ownership always says, well, it ain't just money with Cowboys, marketability, which is. I don't know if Mike could go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or some other team like that and is as marketable as he is with the Dallas Cowboys. And I think he knows that. That's why he probably wants to be the Cowboys for life too. Feel me? But what's good, early bud? Um, you know, I just feel like he's gonna get the extension. I said it could get ugly in the media. I don't really feel like Micah was going to give you a hometown discount. I think that's all good in the media that you say that, and it sounds great. But Dak Prescott said he don't play this game for money, but he still was the high paid. He's still the highest paid in the game, right? And he said I don't play this game for money. He's still the highest paid. So what leads me to believe that Micah Parsons is actually going to say, no, you know what? I'm gonna give y'all extra 10 million to go out there and make it pop. They ain't made it for agency. That's the only thing I would see if Mike doesn't give Micah gave you a hometown discount, which he is absolutely not gonna do, in my opinion. That would be money that for you to sign Osa Ogadazua because I feel like Osa's gone. When we talk about the free agency for next year, I said, you know, Osa's gone. He's been turning up the last 3 or 4 games. He's playing for his contract, dog. You think ain't nobody gonna sign some Osa Ogadazua to on their front if they already feel like they got a damn good defensive front? They got boatloads of money in free agency. They ain't gonna sign Osa. Hell yeah, they are. So that would be the only time I would see if he gave up a hometown discount that you use that money to sign your own because they ain't going out for agency. Sorry, Micah. I don't believe you when you said it. Dallas are going to be players in free agency. They ain't been players, and they got to sign you, and they're going to cry about it in the media. Sorry, Micah. Don't believe you. Don't believe Dallas is going to do it. Say it on your podcast. Dallas is going to be acting. No, they're not. Not in my opinion. Show me where they are, because I'm not going to believe Micah Parsons just because he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going by what I've seen the last 10 to 15 years, right? So you feel me, Key? It's gonna get ugly in that meeting. It sounds all good now until the negotiations start popping. Yeah, everything is good now because y'all ain't talked about signing that new deal. It's all fun and it's all good, all love right now. But this dude is heavily active in social media, and if he ain't getting what he wants, you think he's not gonna be talking about it on the Bleacher Report? You think he's not gonna be talking about it on Twitter, man? He be retweeting Jeff Kavanaugh, Foots. We retweet all kind of Cowboys content creators, everything. So don't say he ain't sitting there watching Twitter, right? Yeah, I know, right? He definitely. I'm gonna just go ahead and post that right there. You ain't lying, Keystone. I could definitely see him looking for Osa Dan Quinn. He's a. I mean, let's be honest. They've always been cowboy thieves. The Washington Commanders or Redskins, whatever you want to call it. They've always been cowboy thieves. So that ain't nothing new. But let me go to another subject. After we talked about that, I feel like there's no way in hell that Dallas doesn't re-sign Michael Parsons, and plus they don't know how to fucking excuse me freaking do it anyway. So that's my opinion on that. Now I'm going to talk about this coaching thing. We done with Memphis. Oh, shit. So let's scroll down here. Let's talk about this coaching thing. So is Mike McCarthy saving his job with the recent Cowboys win? Jerry Jones continues to hint that a 6-8 record isn't great, but considering the Cowboys were sitting at 3-7 just last month, the injury decimated team, and that's going to be the excuse. Whatever, whatever. The injury decimated team may be doing enough down the home stretch to earn McCarthy a new contract. I don't know how anyone cannot say this team has shown that they handle adversity. They'll have an uphill climb over the final 3 contests, but both Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer are currently earning high grades from their bosses. And basically, Jerry said they're joined at the hip. Those two guys, they're joined at the hip. All right. So first of all, I'm gonna go back to this and make it brief. I knew they were gonna hire Mike McCarthy. Okay. And I, for one, was with Mike McCarthy signing. And I haven't been dogging McCarthy this whole tenure. That's basically backing him, showing that, hey, when's the last time Cowboys had two 12-5 season, and then three back to back. He's been doing things that haven't happened since the '90s when they won championships. That's what's happened with Mike McCarthy. That's why he was brought here because his pedigree. He won a whole lot of games in Green Bay and won Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. And I think that team was decimated with injuries that Super Bowl year. That's why he's here. So we know he can do this because we've seen it in Green Bay and we've seen all them ass kickings he used to give Dallas, right? So we knew that he could win games. He was here to come to be over the hump because Jason Garrett won games. Jason Garrett went to the playoffs and Jason Garrett won NFC East titles. They couldn't get over the hump with him. So that's why McCarthy was brought in. That hasn't happened. 6-10 in the first year, I believe. 3 12-5s, and then who knows what's going to happen here. I said they either finish 7-10 or 8-9 this year. My early season prediction was 10 wins, make the playoffs, could miss the playoffs. That was whatever, but I didn't think they were going to do one red cent in the playoffs. This was the lame duck season. But these next three games right here, to me, are more barometer of adversity because I don't feel like you had adversity when you beat these other teams. They weren't good. Yes, you've overcome injuries, but the teams you played still are not good. You're still even with an injured team, you also have more talent than the teams you've been beat. So I can't get hyped. Oh, Cowboys were fighting through adversity. They haven't quit. I give it to them. They haven't quit, but they also are beating teams that aren't good. So can we keep this in perspective here, please? Let's not just jump up in the air. What's up, Drew? Um, if they were to bring a McCarthy back, I don't know. I really don't know because if they were to bring him, I'd say a 3-year deal, not a 4-year deal. It had to be a short deal if they did it, just to because him and Zimmer are, like you said, they're tied together. What's really out there as far as head coaching? Stop talking to me about Ben Johnson, these high end offensive coordinators. They ain't coming to Dallas, dog. So I'm not bringing up them. Okay, I'm not bringing up them because they ain't coming here. Now, when I was listening to 105 The Fan just a few ago, and I was listening to Bobby Bell, and I was wanted to bring up this man, but I didn't want to say it on Twitter because he old. And I know, and I y'all know how I don't really want really a whole bunch of old people here. I just don't. Belichick, I didn't want him because he old. Zimmer, I didn't want him here because he old, but I like Zimmer. He's grandpa to me. He's still old as hell. Do not make him a head coach because I said he could be in the running. Please don't. You make him a head coach, I'm done. I'm not watching this team. But some names that were thrown out there if McCarthy doesn't come back, because here is the situation where it could be. I said this name. Now they were saying that we those names that we mentioned, and then Mike Vrabel. I think somebody. I think I can't remember. Um, I got you, Drew. But my thing was with this with because I said when I interviewed Mike Fisher, if it ain't Belichick, he's gonna have some Belichickian things. So Mike Vrabel is in the mix. I don't know how I feel about Mike Vrabel, but I just know Mike Vrabel's not gonna win here. So that's why I kind of don't want him here because they're just gonna hype him because he's with Belichick and he's from the Belichick tree. His defense in Houston wasn't that good when he was a coordinator. He has some decent teams in Tennessee though. Um, Mike Vrabel's not going to win here. I just hope they don't offer him a deal like he's going to do something. Mike Vrabel's not going to do anything. I'll bet y'all a whole lot of money. I'll cash app. I'll take bets. Mike Vrabel won't do a damn thing here. Not a damn thing. It'll be ugly. Matter of fact, I believe it'll be ugly if Mike Vrabel came here. I believe it would. Yeah, it might. I just feel like it would be ugly if Mike Vrabel. If they sign a Mike Vrabel as the head coach, I just feel like it would be ugly. I don't know why I feel that, but it just would be ugly. So I wouldn't want him here. Um, and then let's say Mike McCarthy stayed. Is he still the play caller? Because I know he wants to call plays. That's the reason why he got rid of Kellen Moore. And if he is brought back, I definitely think the Joneses are going to come at him like, you got to give up play calling duties. They've done it before. They did it with Garrett. When Garrett was losing those games and was choking, and they were like, "What's up with this?" They said, "You can still be the head coach, but you ain't calling plays no more." Because remember, Garrett was calling plays too, wasn't he? I believe Garrett was calling plays, and they said, "Nah, you ain't calling plays no more." But Garrett was cool with that because he's the puppet, you know. So I don't know if Mike McCarthy says I'm giving up play calling because if they come at him and say you can be the coach here, but you got to give up play calling when you need a new OC, isn't that still the same thing where the coach doesn't get to choose what he wants to do? Isn't that the same thing with them bringing Mike McCarthy in and say Kellen Moore is your offensive coordinator, no ifs, ands, but if you want to keep this job? Isn't that still them being the Joneses? So how do you think that dynamic works if they're doing that still? You feel me, Keystone? He would be food in Dallas. It would not work with him in here. I'm telling you. Do not bring Mike Vrabel in here. It will be bad business. You better off just staying with McCarthy than getting Mike Vrabel. Telling you, it'll be real bad. You could go with the continuity thing with at least with the Mike Vrabel. For real. And here's some other things. Despite a rough start of the season, Zimmer's unit has rebounded nicely over the past 4 weeks. Once again, remember who they play. I'll give you Washington because he did a damn good job in Washington. And I ain't saying Zimmer ain't did a good job. Let that be known. I'm not saying Zimmer has not done a good job as the defensive coordinator here in Dallas. I love his aggressiveness. He's really been dialing up the blitzes, untimely blitzes. He really was using Demarion Overshown. Sorry, feel so bad about Overshown. Maris Leafalo is playing very well. Marshawn Nealon, the other rookie, playing very well. I like the way he was setting the edge. He's like the Demarcus Lawrence clone to me. A lot of people said it when he came out. He does feel like it, but I don't feel like he's going to be a high sack guy, but he will be a guy that's going to be great against the run. He's going to be a powerful guy, and he'll be a guy that puts a lot of pressure. So I think he is a D-Law clone. And I just feel like, Zimmer, from what he's had to work with, he stayed aggressive and he hasn't been just sitting back in the zone and letting the offense dictate what they want to do. He's been in there as the defense, even with man down, even when Parsons was out, he was still holding the fort down. But obviously, you see this defense is so much better with Micah Parsons. It's just different because you have to look for him every play, and it just continues to open the game up. So even when Parsons is not doing something, he's opening the game for somebody else because he's that damn good. But I love how Zimmer has stayed aggressive. He was coming after Jaden Daniels in that Washington game, coming after him. He was coming after Burrow, coming after like he's coming after people. So I love the blitz. So I like that about Zimmer. So I ain't hating. Just don't make Mike Zimmer the head coach. Okay. You want to keep Mike Zimmer as the defensive coordinator? I won't fight that. I won't sit there. Oh man, what the hell? Just don't make him the head coach. I'll deal with old ass Grandpa Zimmer because he's still, as long as he's pressuring and attacking and going after people, I ain't tripping on no Zimmer. Anyway, in particular, has been sharp improvement in the run defense, climbing from 28th in success rate against all the way to ninth. Even more encouraging that they're doing it with several of the biggest stars missing. What up, Rico? What up, Jay? What up, Jay? It's been a long time. But yeah, man, I'm still keeping Zimmer as the defensive coordinator. If you're not, if you, because there's continuity there, it seems like the team really messed with him, and Zimmer's no nonsense. And like I said, you old as hell. but you're still effective. Just stay the defensive coordinator, much like a Dan Quinn. That was your niche. You ain't no great head coach, and it's going to be exposed, but that's your niche. So I'm. Are we? I got to find that out, Jay. I have to find that out. You know what? I'm gonna look that up right now so I can check that out. Now, I haven't been totally up on the draft. I usually wait till a little bit. I'm still waiting on my Senior Bowl thing. You know what I'm saying? Um, ooh, yeah, I can get my glasses. But sorry, I'm gonna pull up this guy from Jack. hmm Team stats. So defensively, they're still ranked low. Defensively, they're giving up 136.1 yards a game. They are currently ranked 29th overall in the NFL in rushing yards given up. Overall, Dallas's defense is ranked 26th, giving up 375 yards a game. They rank 21st, giving up 219 yards a game. They rank 29th, giving up 136 yards a game. They rank 29th, giving up 27 points a game. Now they aren't that bad on third down. They're giving up the type of second in the league, only giving up 34% up on third downs. Teams are only doing complete 35% of the percent of their time on third downs, which is damn good. So there you thing to jump up and be like, "Ooh, Dallas is doing this." But like I said, I'm cool with them coming back. Paul, what's up with you? Um, let's see here. Cooper Rush. I ain't tripping on Cooper Rush not being back. Now let's see right here. It's mid-December. The Cowboys may finally be hitting their stride. Mike McCarthy pointed to their +3 turnover ratio against Carolina, win the positional battle. 20 more offensive plays and a solid edge in time of possession as indicators that the team is playing balanced football. They're not a good team once again. And Cooper Rush, you have to play balanced football with him because he's not a great quarterback. You have to use the run game. But you know what, Mike McCarthy, you need to look at this and say it's okay to lean on the run game with Dak Prescott too. You don't have to throw 40 to 50 times with him just because you just signed him to this deal and all that shit. You get what I'm saying? I think that's what it is with me. Um, it just feels like that when the game y'all want to throw the ball 100 damn times. You know what I mean? But when Cooper Rush in the game, we want to be balanced. So be balanced when Dak is in there too. Stop making it a struggle for him. Um, but I'm gonna say is this: I listened to Bobby Belt. He said he don't think Mike McCarthy's coming back. I don't know what happens with that. I gave my list of people. Kellen Moore, because he was the favorite son. I already talked about Mike Vrabel. Hell no, please. Jason Witten. We already heard Jerry gushing over Jason Witten, how great of a coach he could be. If they bring Jason Witten here on the staff as a coach, like on any offense, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. And then once again, the coaching out there, there's not a lot of. Oh, I was gonna tell y'all the other name. The old heads, Pete Carroll. That name was thrown out there, but Bobby Belt said this, and I gonna lie, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all might be thinking I'm crazy. He old as hell, and it would go against what I'm saying. But Nick Saban, that's one old person I would get on board with. If Nick Saban came out from retirement to coach Dallas, agree with that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had already had it in my head when he retired and went into I'm like, man, he's so damn old. But I always loved Nick Saban. Always loved Nick Saban. Even when he was the head coach with the Miami Dolphins. I Why no Witten? Because he ain't gonna do nothing here in my I don't want no Witten because it's just gonna mess the dynamics of the front office. No Witten here. We don't want them dynamics. I don't want no dynamics of no Jason Witten because then he can no, no. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I know he old and whatever, but I ain't gonna lie. If Nick Saban, if they went to Nick Saban, because I know they have a relationship with him, if they went to Nick Saban and said, "Hey, what would you think about coaching Dallas?" And he said, "Yeah," because Bobby Belt was talking about Mike Vrabel said he was holding out to see what's up with Dallas because he said he want 100%. He believes he wants this job. I 100% don't want you to get hired here. So please go find a job somewhere else because if Mike Vrabel gets hired here, oh, I'm be pissed. I ain't gonna lie. Nick Saban though, I doubt that would get my blood. I I would like Nick Saban. Let me look at something right quick, y'all. I know Nick Saban, he old as hell. Shout out to CD. What, fourth straight? He would have five straight if he didn't miss his rookie year with 1,000 yard season. Shout out to you, CD. You've still been dogging it. Even with the injury criticisms all year, you took it in stride, and I give you props for that. You've shown some maturity these last 4 months. So shout out to CD Lamb for real. But yes, let me see how old ass Nick Saban is. We have all Geritol team with Nick Saban and Mike Zimmer, all Geritol team. But here's the thing, Saban, would you want Zimmer? He'd have to get his own staff. How old is Nick Saban? Damn, he's 73. Jeez. Uh 73. That's old as shit. Hamburger. Yeah, Mike Vrabel is definitely on the Dallas Cowboys radar. Definitely is. Yeah, he is. Not gonna tell me that. I know he is on their radar. That's what I'm saying, Jay. And I talked about that. This is 100% true. I said this as soon as they signed Dak to his deal, his first major deal. Once they got Dak his first percent, they start forcing him to be pass happy QB. Remember, yeah. I mean, that's totally true. Like when Dak got his extension, bro, they start throwing everything. When Kellen Moore became that like offensive coordinator, like I felt like they were trying to let us know because remember it used to be Dink and Dak dunk, Dink and dunk Dak. Remember that's what it used to be. He couldn't throw but 5 yards. He can't throw the deep ball. He can't do this and that. And I really feel like they went out of their way to prove to everybody that we aren't the dink and dunk team. We don't have a dink and they went to throwing that ball everywhere. And I feel like they do it again. Um, they're doing it again. And they're doing it with Mike McCarthy. Sorry, my thing might be freezing a little bit. So I don't know if my stuff is freezing. I apologize if it is. But as I was saying, like I said, I apologize. I think my stuff is freezing a little bit. Sorry, my stuff froze up a little bit. Had a little bit of issues with that. So I'm back. I don't know if y'all was hearing me or not. Um, yeah, I totally feel you, Jay. It's just the fact of, be this run team because that's what the Joneses like to do. They like to run the ball. They like to run the ball. So I don't understand why we can't run the ball when Dak is there. It seems like Rico Dowdell's getting all kind of run attempts and we're running hard and whatever, whatever. Then why don't you do that with Dak? You just like almost feel like they make the game harder for Dak than it needs to be. I don't know. I just don't, in my opinion, as I get ready to close here, there ain't really no solutions to this, in my opinion. If you bring back McCarthy, you keep Zimmer, I feel like it's going to be more of the same. I feel like you're going to win games. You probably might be right back in the playoffs if you kept the same core together and you did it. I feel like you'll be right back in the playoffs. I just don't feel like where you're really going to get over the hump. I just don't see it now with McCarthy. And I've been a staunch McCarthy supporter even through the hate that I've got when I've had other people on saying they don't like him. I still said, hey, he don't McCarthy don't bother me. I never hated on Kellen Moore. But I just feel like I don't know. I still like Nick Saban. 71 years old, 72, he old as hell. Him and old ass Zimmer would just be the Gerald Geritol team. But, man, I like Saban. I like Nick Saban. I feel like he don't F around, man. I wish he was younger. Dog, I wish he was like 10 years. If Nick Saban was like 10 years younger, I'd be all on that hire. The only way that I wouldn't want to hire Nick Saban because he's 73 years old. 72, 73 years old. He's old as hell. I don't want that. But damn it, I would like him being here. Why do I like Nick? He's a proven winner. I don't think he was a terrible coach when he was in the professional ranks. Um, he's no nonsense. I think he can definitely motivate. He can motivate players. Um, I feel like he could come in as a college coach, knowing that he was in the pro ranks and already demand respect. I feel like players will respect him. He don't play around. Like he's a disciplinarian. I feel like, but I think he has everything you want in a head coach. I think that's why he was so damn successful in college because of what he really brings to the table. And I think he could come right back to the NFL and bring it. I ain't gonna lie. I wish we could have got a Jim Harbaugh. I don't know if he would have been a puppet in Dallas, but Jim Harbaugh, I always thought he was a good coach when he was at San Francisco, when he went to Michigan. And now look what he's doing with the Chargers. I like Jim Harbaugh as a coach, but you can't have him. But yeah, those are the reasons why I'm saving. I feel like he's a proven winner. I feel like he would command respect. I feel like he does do discipline. I don't know if he would be a puppy to Jared. He's old. I don't know. That's the one thing I would worry about. Vrabel's going to be a puppet if he came. That's why it's almost like who's out there that's going to be different than Mike McCarthy. I think that's the. I think that. What's up, I think that's the biggest thing. What's up, Tony Simmons? I think that's the biggest thing to me is if you get rid of Mike McCarthy, who's going to be coming in better than him? Um, um, what's that damn tight end? Greg Olson. That's what he talked about. He said we should be careful in saying that if you're going to get rid of Mike McCarthy, who do you have better than? No, don't just replace the coach, just replace the coach. And um, who are they going to be bringing in better than McCarthy? That's the question. If he was not to be here, who would they be bringing in better than him? I don't know. That's just my thing. I don't know. I don't know who comes in better. So that's why I say, if he's not here, you're right. You're right, Tony. Like what? Not no real coach don't want to come here. No, not a real coach. No real coach will want to be coming under these conditions and this environment or none of this. No real coach will want to do this. Mm-mm. I don't care what the Dallas Cowboys have to offer. Mm-mm. None of this man. Now I said Jay, I want Prime. I would could be cool with Prime too. The coaches I said I'd be cool with Saban, yes, because he oldest, not because I think Saban's a good coach. He just old as hell. And Deion Sanders, I would definitely uh consider from me because I feel like Sanders would command respect from the players. Sanders is a great motivator and he's still young. He's a great motivator. And I don't see no Deion Sanders bowing down no Jerry Jones at all. I don't see him kissing Jerry Jones' ass. I see him going back and forth with Jerry in the media. I can see him, standing up to Jerry because at the end of the day, Jerry don't really want no puppets. He wants you. I think Jerry don't mind somebody talking back to him and saying stuff back to him because then he's gonna give you his respect. If he can really manipulate you and control you, he is. If he can manipulate and control you, he is. He wants somebody. I think he doesn't mind when somebody gives him clap back and talks back to him. I think he don't mind it, and those other guys do it. I think Dion would definitely clap back and definitely would be like, "Hey, you got to give me some free agents in here. I ain't gonna do this." Because look at his program in Colorado. His program didn't come back just like that because all the new recruits that came in. He came back because he flipped his whole team with damn near transfers. That's free agency. Free agency in college football. For real. That's how these teams can go from bad to being good within 1 year because they get all these influx of transfers. That's not how you build your team in the long run. You build your team from the new recruits and then add. It's the same way in the NFL. You build your team through the draft. You really add and pluck players that can really take your team over the top in free agency, and you get the real ones, not the has-beens, not the cheap ones. Those that don't do nothing for you. That's why Dallas stays losing in those big games because they're cheap in free agency. I ain't never say don't build through the draft. That's the smart way to do. I ain't never say not sign your own. Don't you can't sign everybody, but you sign the more poignant ones. That's the philosophy through damn near most of the teams in the NFL. So it ain't like the Dallas Cowboys are doing some model that ain't nobody else doing. All these teams are doing the same damn model, but they're getting free agents where Dallas is not. They're getting those key free agents. They're saying, hey, we know about the cap, but we're going to manipulate it so we get this player because we feel like we're this close. We feel like we're right there. And that's the difference between front office as I get ready to get off here. That's the difference between the front office in Dallas and the front office with other people. Because I've said this before. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones ain't getting fired. Will McClay, all three of y'all ain't getting fired. Y'all can pretty much do whatever y'all want because this is your organization, not McClay's, but you're in good with them. You can do whatever you want because of the situation you have. So I don't understand why they're always crying about the cap when this is y'all's money. Like nobody's firing the Joneses, nobody's firing Jerry's said it many times to me. There ain't nobody firing me. So if y'all have all this ammo where nobody's gonna fire you, can do whatever the hell you want. You have that luxury that no other organization has besides Mike Brown with the Bengals because he's the owner, president, and the GM too. He's the only other one besides Jerry. Nobody's firing y'all. So why don't y'all go nasty with free agency? Why don't y'all do this? Why don't y'all manipulate it? Because these other organizations who have the fire on their ass, like Howie Roseman and those other guys who have the fire on their ass, like if you don't produce, you're going to be out of here. And they take their job like that because they know they can't sit back and relax because they could get fired. And that's the problem with Dallas. They sit back and relax. When you see the moves that they do not make in free agencies, like they did this year, this was Jerry sabotaging it. And I said it before the year started, he was sabotaging the team, and he knew it because they can. They can sit back and say, "We'll just miss a year. So what? We'll just miss the year." Because they can, because ain't nobody firing them. No other GM could do what they did and still have a job. Knowingly not replace, you lose 12 players in free agency and you did not replace adequately. And you basically said this will just be a lame duck year. They just threw this year away, in my opinion. And then when Dak went down, I was like, but you didn't really do anything. This was a lame duck season. And you could afford to do it because you're the owner. Like nothing's going to happen to you. So, with that being said, that's why I feel like I get frustrated with this organization, not the Cowboys, not the players, but this organization because they sit on their hands. They wait to the last minute to sign players because they can. Look what they're doing with coaching. They'll wait to the last minute so there ain't no options. They did it with players. They did it with Dak. They do it with everybody. They wait to the last minute. They sit down because they don't feel like we don't got to rush. Ain't nobody rushing us because we don't got to. So they wait till the last minute, and when all the good options are dried up. All right, let's go ahead and sign some people. And it's like, what? They aren't helping you. That person right there is not going to get you over the hump. They might be a serviceable player, but that said player that you waited and signed on and this did it as a shut up signing ain't getting your team over the hump. And then I chronicalized the draft. You know what I'm saying? I kind of chronicalized the draft since 2016. How the drafts haven't been that great. They've been okay. They haven't been that great. Matter of fact, hold on. In fact, I'm gonna pull it up. I don't know if you can see this really good. All right, so I don't know how good you can see this, but this is the Cowboys, and I'm gonna scroll down, and I start with 2016, right? So when we talk about the draft and the Cowboys aren't players in free agency, they damn near have to hit on the draft every time. And that's just not good business because these are players that are coming from college that you don't know what they're going to do in the pros. Now, we've had some good players just come out of this draft, but to say that the draft has been great, every Dallas are great drafters and they just don't, because then you got to look at the players that you signed. So we look at 2016, like I said, you got Dak Prescott. It's a pretty good quarterback. He's not no great quarterback to me. Dak Prescott is very good though. But look at the names. Look at okay, all those players that you drafted in 2016. You had Ezekiel Elliott, who had his nice little run. Jalen Smith. The knee injury really messed him up, so I can't say that. But he was a damn good player for the injury and for what he did. It was okay. 2017 to me was a bust draft. Uzier never got a second deal. He's still playing, but he's okay. Jordan Lewis, I like Jordan Lewis, always have. Had my back and forth, with him, not like bad, but I'm saying like sometimes you be frustrated with Jordan, but one thing I never hated on with Jordan, he always plays hard and gives his all, and I love that about him. But let's look at that draft. Noah Brown, he's with the Texans, right? Or he's with the Commanders now. He ain't nothing special. Look at these players. None of them with the team. 2017, none of these players are with the team except Jordan Lewis. 2018, there's not one of these players on this team right now in the 2018 draft. Now we know about Gallup having the injury issues, but Gallup was okay. He was a decent, he was what, a third rounder? He was a decent player. Injuries hurt him. He had the one good year where he got over like 1,000, but he was okay. Dorrance Armstrong Jr. is doing pretty well in um, Washington. He had a decent career toward the end of Dallas, but we're talking about him being a bust before he turned up. And he really didn't turn up crazy. Dalton Schultz, he didn't get no second deal. He got a 1 year deal, and he's over in Houston. He's not great. Then we go to 2019. Tony Pollard's doing his damn thing. Dallas then chose not to resign him. They signed him to the 1 year deal after he hurt his ankle. You need a damn near whole year to recover from that. So that was just you dropped the ball with that. I thought Tony Pollard was pretty good, but look who else they had. Tristan Hill, Connor McGovern has been okay. I like McGovern, but he didn't get a second deal. So we were talking about signing your own. Look at the other players: Michael Jackson, Joe Jackson, Mike Weber, Jalen Jokes. Where they at? Donovan Wilson. He got a second deal. He's been good, but a lot of us said he's overrated, especially in coverage. He's a great down the hill safety in the box. That's it. 2020. CD Lamb. We got to say y'all hit on that, but we can also say he fell in your lap. Nobody thought CD Lamb was going to be available at 17. None of us. So that fell in your lap. You have been a fool not to pick CD Lamb in that draft. Diggs is unknown now. He's been good though. 20 interceptions in his time. He's been damn good. But now we got to figure out what's going to happen with that knee. Gallimore, nope. Reggie Robinson, nope. Biadasz is over there at Washington. He's having a pretty good start over there in Washington. He's nothing great. Bradley and Nye, Ben DiNucci, none of them with the team. Then we go to the Parsons draft. Micah's all world. Great pick. We ain't never doubted that Dallas couldn't draft in the first round. They damn good at getting them first round picks. Pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Joseph, I knew that was a bust. Olga Azuas got 13 sacks, and I think he's gone. I think he outpriced himself in Dallas. I don't know where they match, and I know somebody's going to throw some big money his way. Why would Chauncey Golston? I think he comes back because he's a do-it-all player. And I don't think his market's going to be high, and he'll be affordable for Dallas. Nation right now, Jabril Cox, Josh Ball, Simi Fehoko, Quentin Bohanna. Mukama got an interception, and I don't know why he's languished on the bench, but also I said that he could probably get another deal with Dallas because the way they did him and didn't play him, so he ain't going to have no value in the streets. So he'll be easy to sign in Dallas because they didn't allow him to have any value. Not fair enough. No. Then we got Tyler Smith. He's a gem. Sam Williams, we thought he was going to do big things this year. He got hurt, but, I mean, 8.5 sacks, but he's been inconsistent in his career in Dallas, right? So you still don't know. Jalen Tolbert, third round pick. Nah, he's just okay. Jake Ferguson, he's still ascending in my opinion, but Jake's got a show next year, right? To me. Matt Waletzko, hell no. Deron Bland, we know what he's done. 14 interceptions, had the foot injury, but he's been a pleasant surprise as a fifth round draft pick. Damone Clark, what happened to him, right? What happened to Damone Clark? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Just fell out of favor. And that was your guy, Jay. Jay, you still in here? That was your guy, Jay. You put me on to Damone. I liked him, but and I ain't gonna lie, like him and Jabril Cox all of a sudden got anemic to tackling. Well, um, uh, he was already allergic to tackling before, but Jabril Cox was. So, but Damone Clark, I didn't think he was gonna do that. And then John Ridgeway still hurts me. And Devin Harper, that was a linebacker you didn't have to give up. Should have kept him. John Ridgeway too. Damn, that was some dumb decisions right there, in my opinion. Then let's go to last year. Mozzie's playing better. I give it to them. I don't know if he's ever going to justify being that first round pick, but Mozzie is playing better. Shout out to Mozzie. I've said you was a bust. I don't ever think, but we all say it takes 3 years. But I'll be the first to say when he said he don't like football, it's like him people that concern me. When somebody just outright comes out and says I don't even like football, I that is concerning to me. I don't care what you say because that's telling me any given time you can just quit. You don't like the sport. So that's always going to stay in the back of my head. But he has definitely played better football. Luke Schoonmaker, he's played better. But second round pick, I'm going to still say Devon Achane. Devon Achane. You could have had him in the second round besides Schoonmaker. You didn't need the Schoonmaker pick. That damn Reverend Spam is just as good to me. Drop the ball on that one. Marion Overshown would have been a star. I don't know what his future is now. Hurts my soul because he's a star. 85 tackles, 5 sacks, interception, return for a touchdown. You pairing him with Micah Parsons. Ooh wee. Damn, that one hurts. Marion Overshown hurts. He's a dog. Elko knew he wasn't making it. I like a Sim Richards. I said he was a damn good tackle. I said y'all should have kept him at left tackle, but he need to get stronger. I like a Sim Richards. Eric Scott, no. Deuce Vaughn, I don't know what you're doing with him. Jalen Brooks, I mean, he is what he is. He's a 7th round pick. Tyler Guyton, I still think Tyler Guyton can be a player. I do. So I'm not giving up on Tyler Guyton. Just he had a rough. And I said when he got drafted, he's got a lot of talent. I like him, but he's gonna have a rough way to go. I said so many times on my damn show he was gonna get his ass kicked this year, going from right to left. He was gonna get his ass kicked this year, and he did. Said he was, but I still like him. I like Marshawn Nealon. That was a slept-on pick. I like Marshawn Nealon. I don't ever think he's going to be anything great. I don't know if he justifies the second round pick. Like I said, I think he's like a DeMarcus Lawrence. Cooper Beebe, he's a dog. Love that pick. Maris Leafalo, liked him. So that was a good pick. Carson, we'll see. The jury's out. He definitely has the skill set, but the jury's out on him. Flournoy, he's still a small school guy. I don't know what to think about him and the other guys you already see. But where's this great draft every year? It's not bad. It's not bad. Where's it great? But y'all see what I'm saying? The drafts are okay. So this is what I'm saying. If you have okay drafts, because I went through and showed you the players that are not on this team, all the misses they had, the makes they had, and this makes up your core. And if you're not properly adding in free agency and you're adding these bottom of the barrel players or these over the hill players or these often injured players in free agency that are not making a difference. And you're relying really on the draft and your guys to resign. Your guys that you're bringing back, like Dak is good, not great. CD Lamb's a dog, but you need to add, like, you need a dog receiver in this first round. To me, you need a dog receiver to pair with CD Lamb. No ifs, ands, or buts, or an edge. I love defense, but I'm gonna say you need that receiver to pair with CD Lamb now. We're going forward, and I'm gonna start breaking down the draft. My guy just sent me the list of college players, college videos, so I'm gonna start really watching them. But, bruh, you need to draft a dog receiver. Dog. Not know, oh, he could be, or we think, no, he needs to be a dog right now. City needs a dog. Like the way the Eagles have Devontae Smith, um, AJ Brown, the Miami Dolphins have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Like you need two dogs out there damn near nowadays. Yeah, Burton 3 is nice. The kid from O State, I'm out here in Ohio, so I get to see him. He nice. But you need a dog next to CD. Not no, we think Jalen Tolbert can do it. We like Jalen Brooks. No, it's none of that. Or we want to see the next. No, he needs to be coming in here, damn near can't miss product, can't miss prospect. He's a dog. He's an animal. That's what y'all need. No ifs, ands, or buts. Then, as I said before, and I'm gonna pull this. Let me pull this up. Pull up my Twitter right quick. I'm gonna show you all this, and I get it. The Gentry kid, I get it. So let's see. So I'm gonna put this up here. So this is from my Twitter, and this is what I said on my Twitter. Oh, I'm staying. Oh, Teflon Braid. I'm staying on the Jones' neck. I ain't falling for this fool. I'm not playing the games. Um, yeah, I'm not playing this at all. But this is what I said right here, and I think Tajay Spears has got him a pass catching touchdown with the Tennessee Titans because he's paired with Tony Pollard. But I get it with the Gentry kid from Boise State. I so get it. He is a dog, but let's not act like we haven't seen running backs like that. And I want to talk about that Heisman thing. Gentry did not get robbed. This is from my opinion. Gentry did not get robbed. Gentry. I'm sorry if I said his name wrong. He did not get robbed. We've seen running backs do that. Rashawn Salam, didn't he have 2,000 yards? We've seen running backs run like that. We've seen tons of running backs have high yardage. And then they're gonna say, yeah, but he sat out a lot of games. He could have broke records. Yeah, he could have. That's still playing in the Mountain West. It's okay. Okay. Let's see how they do in these playoffs. But you got to have a damn good offensive line. Got to be pretty good in that competition. We need to see. And I ain't saying he ain't no dog, but what Travis Hunter did, he was playing receiver, had over 1,000 yards, and he played defense. He played offense and defense the whole game. Do you understand how hard that is? I get what Gentry did. 2,000, he sat out games, all he monster. This man played two ways the whole game, all season. and played at a high level. Don't he name players that are doing that in college where you're playing offense and defense and playing at a high level. This man is a running back who had a offensive line and he played in the Mountain West. This dude is a receiver corner, 4 interceptions. What? You can't compare the two. I'm sorry. But as I'm saying before, Cowboys, if they draft middle of the pack between 11 and 15, I hear so many people on Twitter and whatever saying, I don't care, get this kid, no ifs, ands, or buts. You don't got to do that. I'm not drafting that running back at the 15th or 16th or 17th pick. I'm not drafting that kid from Boise State. Me, I'm not doing that. I'm drafting a dog receiver, dog to pair with CD Lamb. I ain't leaning on no damn Rico too, because you need a guy. But look at this list I just showed. This past year, Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Bucky Irvin, who's turning up. I think Bucky Irvin went in the third or fourth round, and Braylon Allen went fourth round. But Bucky Irvin is turning up with those damn Bucks. We're about to see him. He went third, fourth round. Would you be happy with a Bucky Irvin right now? With a Trey Benson? Or even a Blake Corum? Yeah, you would. Pairing with Rico. Last year, my guy who I love. I should just go back and show all the draft videos that I did. Because a lot of those players that I did on my draft breakdowns that I liked and wasn't following the crowd are turning up in NFL. I should need to do a breakdown video about it. But Devon, a chain could be on our team right now, dog. That one still bothers me because we picked Luke. Dallas picked Luke Schoonmaker, Tank Bigsby, Israel Abankandanda. But Devon Chain could be on the Cowboys staff right now. That man's speed is ridiculous, and you could have been pairing him with Rico right now. And once again, you would not be talking about a running back right now if you would have drafted him last year instead of Schoonmaker. So don't make that mistake this year. But look, in 2022, Brian Robinson, he's a pretty damn good running back in Washington. James Cook, you see what he did to Dallas. Kenneth Walker, these are all drafted in second, third, fourth rounds. They don't got to reach. And then my guy Marcus says everybody wants to get from Boise. Yeah, like I'm not, I'm not leaning on that. You know what I'm saying? Um, I, I'm not leaning on that. I can get a running back second, third rounds. Okay, but I really want that edge in the second for real. If you can get a doggish edge, if you can still slide that receiver, edge or receiver first 2 rounds. I really lean it toward receiver because I think we needed that can't miss guy to pair with CD because he needs help and that offense will be even more explosive if you had that other receiver. Because you can draft those running backs. Why are you drafting a running back in the first round and now you got a fifth year option on a running back? Why? You can get a running back in the second, third, fourth rounds. You don't got to worry about that 5th year option. You got 4 years to make it happen. Then you recycle. Every year we're going to do a burgers and blitzes. We said it. We're going to do a burgers and blitzes tonight. But every year we said every year you're drafting an edge and an offensive, a receiver and an offensive lineman every year. Every year you're drafting a receiver, offensive lineman. Every year. Keep replenishing that and turning that. That's what you do. You turn that. You turn it. You turn it. Cowboys ain't been going after receivers every year, and they get the lower level receivers. And you can't put it all on CD. Just think how much better that offense would be if you had somebody opposite CD. You saw when you had Amari Cooper, and you had just think if you would have got a Brian Thomas. He got drafted picked right before Dallas, I believe. Just think if you had Brian Thomas, he's doing pretty good in Jacksonville. Just think if you had Brian Thomas and CD Lamb together. What? Oh, that offense is explosive. Then you still got your running game. You can draft a dog receiver and get that dog running back. You don't have to get him in the first round. That's a reach. It- That's a reach. I don't care how good he is. It's a reach. And don't do it. And if Cowboys do it, I'm not gonna like it. Because why are you putting a 5th year option on a running back now? You don't have to. There's tons of running back in this draft too. Tons of good ones in this draft. So we'll see. So I did a lot of talking today. An hour and a half. It's been a long time since I went live. An hour and a half. I might start going live, get my stuff back in get my foot back in the water a little bit. Talking about them Mavs. Y'all seen the Mavs though as I get ready to get off here. I know I've been talking to Cowboys. I need to have a Mavs flag up here too, because the Mavs is turning up. You seen my Mavs though, right? Y'all seen my Mavs though, right? Just whipped up on them damn Golden State Warriors, dropping 143 on them, breaking 3-point records. Even though I don't like that kind of basketball, my Mavs is nice. So I don't know. Gentry could. We always hear about Dave. Oh, this player ain't gonna drop. Nobody thought CD Lamb was dropping to 17, did they? Nobody thought Aaron Rodgers was falling out that first round, did they? Nobody thought Lamar Jackson was going to drop the way he did. So the draft is not a science, in my opinion. Anything can happen in that draft to me. But yeah, I'm about to sign off here. I think we're going to do burgers and blitzes tonight. I talked to my dog Mike White early, and I think he already posted on Twitter. So we'll get right back at it about 7:30. Talk some more football with Mike White, my dog burgers and blitzes. Make sure you pay attention to that show. We talk about so many real things. I talked about a lot of real things today. But make sure you just keep tuning in. Big game James, all that good stuff. You know what it is. Glad everybody was here. Glad I got to talk to everybody. It's been a long time since I went live. I think it's been months since I went live like this, for real. Months. I might get my feet wet here and there. It's fun when you don't feel like you got to do it all the time. And plus, this team ain't making me just jump up and down. Ooh, let's talk about drafting this and that. Nah, appreciate you, Jay. Yes, make sure y'all tap in later for the Burgers and Blitzes tonight. I think my guy might be outside. I don't know. But, Burgers and Blitzes is the realest. So make sure you tune in. But we'll get back to doing this again. I'll post some draft stuff, some guys that I like on, and then what I think they're going to draft. But let's get it, man. Had a great time with y'all. Glad everybody was in the building. Shout out to everybody. Dave, Jay, uh, Charles, Teflon Breed, Black Yoda, Frank Johnson, Frederick Johnson. My God, my uncle's in here. Timo 419, Tony Simmons. Um, my dog Keystone, my dog Danny Cuz. What's up? Who else we have? Paul Rope. Paul, what's up, dog? Good to see y'all. So I just want to go through all the names. Appreciate all y'all being in the building. Uncle Charles, appreciate you, Cowboys Execution. Appreciate all y'all being in the building. Let's get it back together and let's talk some real Cowboys football. I ain't saying this fake out there. I'm not saying nothing like that, but we'll talk about some real stuff. We ain't talking about the foo-foo. That's where you need to come. So we're gonna put this later on tonight. Let's get it in. Yes, the Mavs are standing on business. Teflon. Check. And I love my dog, my favorite player on the team. PJ Washington standing on business. Appreciate you, Rico, my dog. Appreciate y'all. Let's get it back in tonight. Jump back in here and let's talk some more Cowboys football. This is Big Game James. I'm out. Peace.